Lucifer fans, what's going on? Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's Lucifer After Show. We are in Season 2, Episode 6, entitled Monster. That's it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Monster
inside of my
Little karaoke every star.
That's what we should have started with.
Oh my goodness, if you guys caught us live streaming earlier not knowing we were live streaming and you heard us singing, I am so sorry.
You're welcome.
It was fun. Yeah, you're welcome to the show.
My name is Alikona Bradford. So glad to have you here joining us for tonight's after show. As always, please come co-host with us. All you have to do is join the hashtag ABTV Lucifer, and then we can talk to you about everything. Also follow me at BoysAndBeauty01 and follow these fantastic people as well.
Hi, I'm one of the co-hosts. My name is Ryann Graham, and you can follow me on Twitter at Ryan with 2 N's Graham, and on Instagram at Instagram.
Hey everybody, I'm Samantha Benitz. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz, Benitz. Happy Halloween, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Eminem's on my screen right now, so I'm just like doing
jamming
what
out.
he's doing.
You caught my attention with the jam.
Anyway, I know, right?
Yeah.
And the kitty face.
I
it
know,
just
right?
works.
No, it is. Yes, happy Halloween. The veil is very thin tonight, so be careful with the Lucifer stuff. You don't know what could happen.
Did you guys notice, even though Halloween was only brought up for Trixie, but in between the different scenes when they were transitioning, it was always a Halloween song?
Oh, no, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I mean, it was old. Some of it was old school, sounded 60s, 70s-ish.
Fun.
But they were definitely Halloween.
Dude,
Yeah.
I didn't know that there were that many Halloween songs.
Even the opening scene with the brain cake, I'm like, okay, I feel this.
I was okay, the very Halloween-y vibe. I did love the opening scene. It was very fun. It was a zombie wedding. I was like, interesting. I don't know if I would attend. I don't think I could attend.
I thought it was cool, and then they made a throw at the fact that she was a makeup artist, and I was like, oh, okay. I still wouldn't have a wedding like that. Okay.
But it worked.
To each his own, yep.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, we have a very intoxicated Lucifer trying to join everybody, trying to sleep with everybody.
Right.
That's always fun. Now, you guys know that he always likes luxurious things from head to toe.
Right.
I am pretty sure, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that his sheets are pretty luxurious too.
Probably.
And only 100% organic.
Obviously.
Probably. So he probably sleeps in these sheets right here. We have bowl and branch sheets. Now, again, I mentioned 100% organic, and they're doing a special with us here at AfterBuzz, so you guys have to check it out. They've been rated 5 stars. If you go onto their website and use podcast1 as a promo code, you get $50 off. Nice. And usually these sheets, like of this quality, are thousands of dollars. It's a few hundred, but you get $50 off.
Major deal.
So it's okay. And P.S., 3 United States presidents do sleep on bowl and branch sheets.
No big deal. But
Super casual, right?
I'm just like Obama in my sheets.
Exactly.
Anyway, so yeah, be sure to check it out. You get your first 30 days trial, free shipping, and all you have to do is use the code. So again, it is podcast1, bowlandbranch.com. That's BOLL, bowlandbranch.com. So yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I will go.
Nice to say cozy. Now it's going to be all chilly in the winter.
Yeah.
Right?
Just in time for the holidays.
I mean... Anyways. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Lucifer carrying guilt, which he says is just a useless emotion.
Right. I love how he throws that out in the very beginning. It's interesting because later he admits, oh, I feel guilt. So it's like,
well, you know, it's interesting too, and I'm jumping way into the episode, but one of the things he also said is, you know, I've never killed anybody before. And I think as the devil, you really don't think about that because you just think of him as being this really bad guy. But he only punishes the people who deserve it, and they're already dead.
Right.
So for him, it's just a whole new situation.
Right.
Wow, that's I noticed he said it, but it didn't hit me that way until you just pointed that out. And it's weird because you're right. We think of the devil as this terrible person or being. I guess he's not really a person. And this show is kind of like opening our eyes to that. And that's why I was afraid of the show at the beginning because I was like, I think this is desensitizing us to the devil, and it's gonna make us all be like, yeah, the devil's not so bad. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So maybe this is the first step in that because we're like, oh yeah, he doesn't kill people. The devil's not so bad.
Right.
And that's going to be a major thing for him because I think he's kind of built his character around the ideal of I haven't killed anybody, so I'm not that bad.
Right.
So I just punish people, and he always says, I punish the people who deserve it. Right. Always.
That's his bottom line. And now that that's switched up, it's going to be a major changer for him. Like, I just think it's going to shift his dynamic, and now will he continue to do it more, or will it be like a life-changing situation that he's going to look back and it'll be defining?
I feel like the way it's hitting him, because he is like at this, he's usually so quick and witty and light, and he was very dark this episode. So I feel like I don't see him killing again. I feel like later in the episode we see him talk to his therapist. We can get to that later. But one thing that I feel like is going to happen is that he can't talk to anybody about it, because like no matter who he goes to, no one believes him. Everyone thinks it's a joke, and I feel like it's one of those things where it's like God is the
frustrating.
only. Yeah, it's frustrating, and I think that's what it's going to come to. It's like God is the only person you can talk to, because if you think about it, it's like who can you really go to? And I feel like that's what he's going to have this conflict with. It's like you're going to have to turn to your dad, and because he's like I need punishment, I need to, and like the only real person who can judge anyone, let alone the devil, would be God. And so that is where I feel like it's headed, and I think he's going to have this conversation with God.
I think that's smart. I think it's clever. You're probably right. But I also feel like he should be having a conversation with Amenadiel, because now that they have shared this new thing with Amenadiel opening up about not having his powers, it really humanizes Amenadiel a little bit more. And Lucifer's already been on that plane, so why don't we talk about this? Like, let's share our experiences. What's happening? We don't know. And finally, Amenadiel has gotten to a point in his life that Lucifer was at like a long time ago, which is, I'm not even trying to please God no more.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm over
it,
this.
Dad. I'm done.
Because it's all his fault. It is all his fault. And I really enjoyed the scenes with him and his mother. And I was curious because I thought she was going to take him to a new set of wings. And instead, well, because, they were walking through this forest, and then you have the Jesus rays coming down.
Yeah.
Ooh, what are they shining on? I was all, oh, that's a weed.
Yeah, I was expecting the camera to pan to something else. I was like, okay, what are they looking at? And then it was just like, oh, it's a grave. Which I was like, do you bury celestial beings?
It's just, I think the mom, she's so calculating. I just feel like at this point she wants to get him when he's most vulnerable. And so she's catching him when he's weak and he's not feeling good about himself. He doesn't have powers anymore, so he's not able to control the situation. And now that she's also his mother, it's you're going to have a sensitive spot there, obviously, for this woman no matter what. And so, I don't know, the more I see of her, the more I just feel like I want to have empathy for her and really like her, but then I just have this suspicion over her, so.
Yeah, she makes me feel nervous for sure. Like, something about her talking about, or when he goes, I lost my powers, and she goes, I know. Something about that.
She knew. I was like,
but she's like, a mother knows.
Or a mother took it away. I still think she did. I blame her, because I don't know. That's weird. How do you know? How do you know? Why do you know?
I could buy into that part.
It
could be a way to get him to
come to her side. Like,
yes.
Oh, come on, a mother always.
Yeah. But not even that, but like take it away so that way he needs her. A mom sometimes thrives on her children needing her. And right now, Lucifer doesn't need her. Lucifer's like, yo, get out of my life. You're cramping my style. I'm just punishing you. You deal with this family. So it's like bringing her boys to her and making them need her.
And the thing is that she has powers. So that's
which she has not told anybody else.
They don't know she has powers, but she does. So that's the other thing is that I'm like, she need them. I'm telling you, it's her. Or
what do you want over there? What are you thinking?
Sucking them out of him because he's strong, right? Yeah. And now she out of nowhere. Remember when she threw the homeless dude or whatever he was? She was like, ooh. So maybe somehow, some way, because that's I think around the time his powers started to really dissipate, is they just started flooding into her. And maybe she realized that and was like, ooh, and that's how a mother always knows. I don't know.
It's very weird, and especially because she called out Lucifer tonight saying, he just goes to the bar and, he kind of like deals with it on his own. Where I feel like Amenadiel, he needs to talk about his feelings. He's more sensitive, and like, I love that. That's great. So it's like, it's cool to see his character who needs to internalize all his feelings versus Lucifer, who goes out and just tries to look for anything to distract him. But then again, he is getting weaker and more vulnerable in this episode. You can see he's drinking heavily and he's just not himself. But I don't know. I do think that he's going to have kind of a moment of understanding or clarity at a later point of just kind of realizing who he is and what he's going through at this point and how he's going to still be able to help, because he still does nail it with the cases. Like, he's able to figure things out.
He's very good at figuring everything out, even though he uses what is the not protocol. He goes
yeah.
It's his own thing.
Protocol.
No, I was just gonna say I really liked the throw. It was very, very subtle, but how Mom had said, well, you know, Lucifer, a rebellion here, an apple there.
It was like a funny line.
Yeah.
It was good writing.
Yeah,
It was very good writing.
I want to take a moment, though, really quick to say hi to some of our co-hosts that are participating at home. So I'm going to turn over and say hi to Ivan. Hi, Chaotic Mayhem. RJ Martinez. And then Billie Jean Girl is somewhere in there, and she asked if I was a Cheshire Cat. Yes, indeed. I am. And there was a couple other people. Sexy Liam, who is the one who caught us live. Apparently, we were talking. Yeah. It's when we were talking about some child star.
Oh, good.
Demi Lovato, I think we were talking.
Good.
Oh well.
Well,
Anyways, you didn't hear us trying to sing. That's a good thing. Telly Bondage. Ooh, should I say that out loud? Hi.
Yeah.
Anyways, hello. Okay, yeah, so let's get back into the show. And again, if you want to say something in regards to what we're saying, sometimes you're a little delayed on our end, but we'll take a peek over and try to include you in the conversation. So let's see, what should we talk about?
Well, just before we go, I think another really cool aspect of this is in kind of humanizing the devil is that it's cool to see him use human vices, because it's like he's supposed to be this celestial being, and like you don't typically think of the devil as being like, oh, you know, I'll drink and sleep with women, and it's like he is being a typical human and like turning to all these things to fight his pain, and it's like, wow, that's weird because you don't think of someone being that way, or the devil being that way.
Well, he's filled with emotions.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I know. I can't get over the fact that he has emotions because you're the devil. You shouldn't. That's like, and it's LA.
He's declared it a few times this evening, and I love the declaration to Dan. I'm the devil.
Can we? Okay, R.I.P. Danifer. Like,
I know.
So sad.
Over so fast.
They had such a blossoming friendship last episode, and that
truly a fling.
But Dan was the first one to be rude in this episode.
He did.
Was it because of the fact that the previous episode, Ella had made mention about, just get a room.
Oh, so maybe this is him finally picking up on that, like that tension that they have together.
Yeah, and even Chloe was mentioning, she's like, oh, I'm worried about Lucifer, you know, because she was seeing how he's drinking a lot. And I think that bothers Dan. He's like, why are you worried about another man? I mean, I'm right here. I'm doing just fine. I don't know.
Of course.
I still like that he punched him, though. It's kind of funny just to see Lucifer get out of there and just do something totally bizarre, even though Dan didn't really deserve it at that moment.
It was such a cheesy punch, though.
It was.
It wasn't like let's have a fighter moment and like whoop-ah, cross hook with the hip and everything.
Yeah, it was like a bop.
Yeah, it was.
Like a Three Stooges bop.
Right. But again, he's the devil, so maybe he packs a lot in his punch.
Yeah.
You know?
We're
assuming.
Because he really was bleeding. And he had a moment.
Yeah, his head went back.
Yeah, he was,
But I like that Dan, you know, when Chloe was trying to be the voice of reason and say, you know, maybe we should give these files back, he's like, actually, let's just borrow them.
Yeah, I know. He was over it real fast. He's like, you know what? Let's solve the case. I'm going to wait on the whole. Yeah.
But the thing is that the devil is always tempting us. So I think it's another just kind of like thing that the writers are throwing in. Like, hey, the devil will tempt you. And so the devil tempted him to do the wrong thing.
And he did it.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, that's a thing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the way I saw it. I was like, yeah, it was a temptation and he took it.
It's possible.
So what if this whole thing is like the devil isn't actually there and it's them like having this like mental thing? That's a big never mind, we're gonna throw that theory out.
I like it anyway. It's very creative.
Yeah.
Okay,
let's catch
Steve
up.
Russell, Cullen Prime, they're getting divorced, so why would she care that Dan is there? I don't know what the beginning of that conversation is, but I will say this, there was that reference of if that ever happened to my wife.
Oh, he did say wife. I think he let it out. He said wife, didn't he?
No, I heard a wife.
Oh, he paused. I was listening and I was like, oh, wife. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's so awkward to kind of be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You were my wife. Excuse me.
Let me back that up.
Yeah.
No, that is, I think that would be very awkward to be married to someone and then kind of be like, because how do you introduce, like, especially to be cordial with them.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to hate someone. Yeah, my ex-wife. But when you're like friends, it's like.
Right. Well, and you're working together.
Yeah.
So you got to keep it professional.
At least, so.
But it was still a nice statement. I'd be like, okay, you called me your wife, but like that was sweet. The notion was sweet that he was going to be there and feel sad if anything happened to her.
Of course. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the case. I mean, it took a large part of this show up, and at the same time, it's not the main point of the show, you know, which is how this tends to work. But I actually liked this case.
I did too.
It was a good one, and it was interesting because when they were talking about the woman who had cancer, I don't know. For me, it's what?
I think you're gonna say what I thought was super funny in this episode, but you go. Sorry.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Maybe not, because it's not funny.
I'll call. Okay, then you say it, and then I'll call.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the fact that she had gotten the placebo.
Oh yeah. Okay, that wasn't funny. Not funny. I'm sorry.
No, that's not funny.
It's not funny.
It's not funny. Anyways, and so with the whole husband going after these people, which also was really sad.
Yeah, it
you
was.
know, and all he wanted was punishment himself, and to go, and maybe that was subconsciously to go to jail. Can you like do something else?
Yeah.
That doesn't involve killing other people.
And the thing is, he wasn't even, not that the doctor and the lawyer were like in fault, like they weren't.
I thought they were going to be
Going
having
for
an
the
affair.
spouse.
Yeah, that's right too. I totally was like, oh, they're sleeping. Yeah, which was wrong. But like, I feel like he was going after the spouses, which was like,
Even
yeah, it
worse.
was even worse. You're literally killing innocent people. So I thought that was terrible. But you know, yeah, I agree. If you're gonna do something to harm yourself, why include other people? Like that's,
Yeah.
I just feel like that's low. That's really sad. It makes me sad.
I will
but-
say, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you go, because my thing was what I was gonna call out as funny.
Uh-huh.
So when Chloe was talking to Dan and he goes, I can't even pronounce this, blah, 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 syphilis, and she goes, yeah, it's a lung disease. Like, I thought that was so funny because it's like, oh, I'm sorry, Chloe, I didn't realize that you were also a doctor. How fun? Because she just spit out the prognosis.
Yeah, like, hello.
Yeah, she said it as if he was an idiot for not knowing.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like, oh, and maybe you guys knew that it was a lung disease.
Of
I was
course.
oblivious. Oh, okay, so I'm the idiot. Got it.
You're right there with Dan.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know what it was either, to be honest. I didn't know the exact details. But I will say about this case, I like that I didn't know who the killer was at first. Like, it took me a while, and they didn't introduce the character right away. So it built up the suspense. And then just kind of seeing it go from different person, like, I like that as well. Just kind of, you know, seeing the person at the food truck afterwards. And, like, it just kind of built up slowly. And that was more enjoyable for me than most of the other cases. I feel like they kind of end
when
sooner.
someone's killed at the beginning, and they're just doing the procedural all the way through. And
Right.
this one is a chain
Exactly.
of reaction.
Yeah, like I like the chain, and I like how I
Freddy.
just didn't know what was going on. I didn't know who it was, and the story behind it is very cool too, because it was just so deep, and obviously
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I like the conversation that he had with Wesley, the shooter at the end, Lucifer,
Yes.
and they're kind of just having this heart to heart. And it was about punishment, and the fact that he even addressed that and kind of saw somebody who took it too far versus somebody who can barely handle it himself. It's like a hard line not to cross.
Right.
And I feel like that conversation was definitely, it said more about Lucifer than it did about Wesley. And I think it was Lucifer talking to himself.
Of course, he was having an external epiphany.
He
Yeah.
was. He
Yeah.
definitely was. So it was like,
Stream of
this is about you,
consciousness,
buddy.
Well, and you know what's interesting? I thought, because obviously he stood in front of the woman, right? And he's like,
Yeah.
shoot me. Why are you missing me? Shoot me. Hello.
Yeah.
And part of me was like, I didn't know what he was doing at the moment. And I knew that Chloe was there. And I thought, honestly, the first shot, because it happened so fast, I thought the shooter shot him. And it went through him. And obviously him being Lucifer was like, okay, come on, let's do this. And I thought it was a scare tactic. I didn't realize until he kept doing it that A, the guy was missing on purpose, B, Lucifer really did want to get shot, because I'm like, Chloe, go away, he's gonna bleed, can you leave, let him do his magic.
Yeah, I was thinking like, run upstairs, sister. Like, you already know he's up there.
But
so.
I don't think, obviously, I don't think Chloe realizes.
No,
that,
she
but
doesn't, but I
yes,
was just trying to get her
like-
to shoo away.
Well,
Right.
the other thing is that I'm curious as to what actually happens to him. Like would he go back into like the spirit realm and talk to God again? I'm curious what would happen if he were to have gotten shot, and that would he literally
Go to hell?
I guess that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, okay, so
Yeah,
what?
because he did. He that's how he traded Chloe's life in.
Right, but I guess would he be permanently? I guess
No, not without that dagger, right? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
the-
I'm like, he wouldn't disappear. He would just go to hell, which I'm like, then you
Yeah.
would just kind of go back to your
Where you
doop-de-doo.
started.
Yeah, I feel like
Which
that's
that's
not that-
interesting, because
Yeah.
if that was really supposed to be what's happening, then that would have probably already happened. Like,
Yeah.
if that was God's intervention, like, he would have done something about it right now if he needed him to be back in hell. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see where this whole dark Lucifer is going, because I'm sort of afraid that he is going to die again. I don't know why. Just part of me is I'm just afraid of it
He's
because
very
he's so
reckless right
dark.
now.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
he's been very reckless this whole episode, so it's kind of making me like, what are you doing? Like, what do you want?
Well, you know, somebody had said in the chat, and I apologize because it's way scrolled
Oh,
up there,
yeah.
so I don't know who it was, but what they had said is, I just want to see Chloe give him a hug. And I'm like, yeah, because here's the thing. I know they have an interesting relationship, and they have that whole, you get on my nerves,
Yeah.
you're sassy, but whatever, I secretly think
But it's
you're
like
great.
attractive. Yeah.
Yeah, and every time she's asking him what's wrong, obviously he's pushing her away, but people do that when they're in pain, and I think it would be really refreshing to have her just maybe sit next to him on a bench and be like, hey, let me put my arm around you, because I don't know how many people in his life have actually come up to him and embraced him, and not in bed, but actually embraced him
in a non-sexual.
and just say, I care about you, I love you, I want to be there for you, because I think that's also a very new emotion for him that would rock his world and he wouldn't know what to do with.
Yeah, he probably would make a joke about it. Knowing him, he'd probably try to joke it off. I feel like he wouldn't know how, to react.
Yeah, I feel like he wouldn't like it at first, and he'd like push away until he got to a breaking point of realizing like, okay, then I don't have that other person, so that would be devastating enough to bring down those walls. But I think because he's had to be sheltered and alone and only care about himself for so many years, he's just like used to that. But then Chloe really already has shifted that whole mindset for him at this point. So.
But also acknowledging it to oneself and to the person that's trying to give you the love, right? Because it's so quick to be like, oh, whatever. But when you acknowledge in your own self that, like, this feels good. Being loved feels good.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, you know? And not having the big ego that makes you act a certain way even though you feel differently on the inside.
Especially he clearly has daddy issues. So, like, he needs the... You know what I mean? It's like, it's a love that he's obviously been seeking from his parents, because his mom, he also has issues with her. So I do think that Lucifer needs some loving.
Yeah, I mean, he has Maze, and Maze is there all the time for him, which I love. And like her in this episode was amazing.
Yes,
I love that. Maze, amazing.
But
the best part, I was thinking, wow, okay, so she goes trick-or-treating with Trixie. There's another Trix.
She's just on a roll tonight, guys.
Yeah, sorry, okay, I can't continue. Anyways, but the thing that shocked me was she still has her powers fully. She was able to do that thing with the
that was the
half
best
of her face.
part.
I remember writing Maze and Trixie in a heart, and I was like, I love them, and I want them to be friends for forever. That was the most adorable thing ever. She was cool. And I'm like,
I was waiting for the response, like, okay, she's either gonna scream bloody murder, or she's gonna think this is like the best thing ever.
Right. Well, I liked Maze's reaction to that, you know, because obviously it could go either way, and I think that made her be like, oh my god, this critter's even cuter.
I feel like, because I feel like Maze puts on this, obviously she's a demon, and like, I'm tough, you know, I'm a BA, and having Trixie kind of melt her a little bit in that moment, I think it was important for Maze, because it was like, I think she has this disdain for humans in general, and so to see this little human have that moment where she saw Maze for who she really was and still
didn't judge her
and still loved her.
Yeah.
I think that was a moment for Maze's character to be like, whoa, maybe there is something to this. I think this is her taking steps towards her humanity, because I feel like all of the demons and like celestial beings are gaining some humanity through the show, and I think this is and she's not, and I think Trixie is her intro to humanity, so she's gonna be the one that makes her soften, and I love it. Also, I love this X-wing, like when Trixie's just like
and then when she's the president of Mars, and she's like, I'm the president of Mars, and she has a whip.
I love it. God, I want Maze to babysit me and take me trick because she got money out of it.
I know, she's like giving him the look, like that's not enough candy. We both know that. So just
love it.
Dump it all in the bag.
Yeah.
Also, subtle, just like a shout out to the costumers and the hair and makeup team, because they did the little devil horns for Maze tonight.
The little buns.
I did the little buns. I was like, wow, that's a very subtle, like devilish hint, and I really appreciated it.
I know.
So
I love that. I love their stylists, and like I just think it's so cool, Maze's character, even because you see the tough sides of her. Like even when she went home, I love that she watched a movie and she was like inside with Trixie already before it was dark, and yet they're still watching like what was it, like Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, so there's still
there's still a little bit of Maze.
There's rappers everywhere. Like she was ready to do one of these, but then when they looked all cute and cuddly, that's when she's like, okay, maybe we can do this roomy thing.
Yeah,
I loved it because Maze was ready to party. Like she was like, best party started at 3 anyway. So I really appreciated and like loved Maze in this episode.
And I think that's the first time we've actually seen what she looks like, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. And then also, too, going into seeing what people look like, I just want to start talking about Lucifer and the scene with him and Dr. Linda, because we were having we were having this little interaction.
I feel like that was interesting. Dr. Linda's immediate reaction, I think, is appropriate. But in the promo for next week, we see her just kind of like, I feel like she's too calm about it. I don't know. She's just kind of like, oh, he's. Hold
on, really quick. RJ Martinez says, I thought Maze was going as Scary Spice.
Praise.
Shut your face.
I love that. Oh, maybe it was. Maybe that was her costume. Maybe I missed that. Maybe, yes. Maybe she was Scary Spice, because that was a good costume. It fit. I love that.
That's too funny.
Anyways, I'm so sorry to interrupt your thought.
You're good. Now I can't remember. Where were we? Oh, Linda's reaction.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we see Linda next week talking about what she experienced with Lucifer.
Sorry,
I think she's talking
your
to
friend
Maze.
anymore.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think my only reaction to seeing the devil would be, I can't be your friend. Like, I think I would literally not speak to anyone for like months, because I would have to literally process that not only did I just see the devil, but then that has confirmed like millions of years of questions. Like,
right. Mm-hmm.
Where do we come from? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, that is all 100% confirmed, and it just happened to you. Like, I feel like.
But then would it change your mindset because you met him and you formed this bond with him and now he's not what you expected?
Yes, it would change my mindset, but I still would be more than I can't be your friend. I would flip
right.
out.
But that's where I was like on the flip side, because I felt like, cool, I'm in cahoots with the devil, so I'm doing all right in life.
That's true.
We had sex, that's even better. Like, who can say that they've done that? And on top of that, with confirming, yes, that confirms, because everybody's faith is based on faith, right? Because most people haven't been to heaven and hell and back. Most. I'm gonna say like, 50-50 population. Anyways, but I would be like, okay, you exist, so there must be a heaven. I gotta go to church. Thanks for reminding me. And this is awesome. I know I'm a good person. I'm not going to hell, so this isn't a problem. And we're friends, so we're good. I'm gonna stay friends with you.
Yeah, I like explaining that later when you get up there. Like, yeah, about that one time I had sex with the devil.
He tricked me. That was trickery.
It was my fault. It was the devil.
It was a snake all over again.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I just feel like I would flip out, because I'm like, dude, I just saw the devil. Like, I don't know how.
Dude.
I don't think I could. Like, I would literally, me as Linda would still be sitting in that chair 3 weeks later, like
quivering.
You know what's crazy though? Is I thought that was a weird reaction.
Her to quiver?
Well, not to quiver, but for her to just sit there. Well, okay, let's rewind first of all. Rewind just a second, because the conversation she had with him, and again, it's not like he was, I'm the devil, rah! It was. This is how I feel. This is going on. I thought you were gonna be there for me. I can't be your friend. I can't be the person you talk to. But you are my friend, because that's, I think, how Lucifer sees her. That's that's his confidant. And without her, who he's blatantly told everything to, he has no one to talk to. So when she finally says that this is the last straw, honesty, truth,
and he's like,
okay. And again, the way he did it was so almost like a puppy who just peed in your shoes and was like,
please forgive me.
Here goes. Are you ready? Ready? Okay. Whoosh. And then back, right? And you see his face, and it's so sad. And so I wanted to hug him and be like, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. And for her,
just a stare.
Yeah. Is that all you got? I mean, at least freak out.
So I think Ivan's right. Like, when she went catatonic, I think it was shock. She was literally in so much shock that she couldn't move. And yes, Linda did have sex with the devil.
Not almost. She did. Yeah. Many a times. That was her payment. She was accepting sex as a payment from the devil. She is going to hell.
Probably. First in a handbasket.
Just saying.
No, I don't know.
No, but I don't know. I mean, I guess you could be scared catatonic, but I would have been like, oh, you're for real?
Yeah.
Wow. And then I would have so many questions.
You would just question. You wouldn't be scared. You wouldn't be afraid.
No, only because I had known him for months. We'd been talking for months. He's been telling me who he is, and so I feel like it's less of a shocker.
Yeah, and he's telling her personal things.
I guess I understand that, but like, so you mean a couple of months of friendship could make up for the 30-some years that Linda would have had as in her idea of what the devil was. So a serial killer, and you know all of this information about a serial killer, this terrible person, and you meet them, but you don't know who it is, and they you think that they're joking when they say they're that person, and then they finally are like, yes, this is me. You think the couple of months of friendship you had with them would make up for the years of knowledge you had about that serial killer? That's where I'm going.
You haven't killed me. We're good. And I have so many questions. Why did you do it?
Okay, I'm just wondering.
Maybe you have a mental disease. Let's diagnose you, get you on some meds.
Oh, that's
Do
good.
some
You just
yoga.
want to help. You just want. I love that. I love that you just want to help.
Yeah, let's make this better.
Okay.
Somebody else up in the chat had said something that he actually looked really ashamed, and I felt that
did.
too.
That was very sad.
Again, I think it all comes down to how the context of how he revealed himself. Again, it wasn't done in a very matter of fact. It wasn't done in a booah. It was just, okay, if this is what you want.
Yeah, like, so you'll start taking me serious when I come to you with my meeting.
And I guess we have seen Maze's face before.
And Ivan, why are you shouting? Ow,
Yeah, I know.
ow.
All caps. He needs us to hear this. All right, Ivan.
He's like,
Sorry.
you're going to see my comments.
Oh, but never like that. Yeah, I think it was the way it happens. Like, to me, I guess it was. I don't remember.
Maybe the juxtaposition of the side by side.
Autumn Phoenix says we saw her face, but not like this, and I think that's what I recall too. Like maybe a quick flash, but this was like a full, detailed skull sunken in,
Wow,
a few
yeah.
little.
Yeah, like we got to observe it.
Yeah.
You don't have to give up, Ivan. No, we're with you. Everyone's right.
I give up. At least, hey, at least Ivan is laughing very loudly. He's shouting his laugh, so it's okay.
Oh, well, okay. Well,
Thanks for watching, Ivan.
yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Anyways, okay, so wait, have I missed anything? We know who the killer is.
We did. I think we kind of talked about Amenadiel and Mom before.
Yes.
But I also wanted to call out her costumes because I'm all about like her style on point. The costumer, I need to look you up and like give you all of the Twitter praise because literally it was phenomenal. When they were walking in the woods, I'm like, I don't know who would wear this to the woods, but like I'm into it because you look phenomenal. So
You look like God's wife just
you
walking.
really do. Like, I
down.
get why God married you. But I get it. But I just feel like their conversation, I think that it was very important. There was something I wrote down as Oh, no. Never mind. The thing that was foreshadowing to me during Lucifer's kind of breakdown in the club when he was playing the piano, like, get out. We see him see who he thinks is Uriel. And to me, I'm like, that is foreshadowing. That was not for no reason.
Of course.
I 100%, but especially now, I believed he was still alive last week, but 100% now, I'm like, Uriel's not dead. He's coming back. Because him seeing him, you don't just throw that into a show for no reason.
Right.
I don't think Uriel's dead.
So you think they use a fake dagger during the
I don't
death?
know if it's that. I just feel like I don't think it's the last we've seen of him.
Well, yeah, and at the same time, too, the only thing that really... Well, okay, yeah, fake dagger because the dagger kills your soul.
Right.
Right? And so, obviously, if he just killed the human part, it's just the capsule that encases your soul, right?
So it went somewhere
So, if it... Yeah, then Uriel may have gone to heaven and it was a fake, so he can come back down in another body?
I don't know.
Yeah, and like, what's his motive for that? Like, that's the strange part. But I agree. I
God,
understand.
I feel like he's still on God's mission. I think
and he went to like go get some recruitment.
Because I also feel like Chloe is still in danger. I don't think that went away. I feel like he's still on a mission to either get Mom or get Chloe.
Yes.
And I feel like Mom's not going anywhere. I don't think Mom's gonna let Mom go anywhere.
Yeah.
So we have some questions
before
coming
we lose it. Cullen Prime asks, do you think Trixie really believes that Lucifer is the devil? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm glad you said that because I wanted to bring up the fact that, as soon as Maze was like, oh, okay, I have a costume, and she did her thing, and of course Chloe's like, cool. Oh, no, wait. She has seen it, though.
She's seen Lucifer's
She's seen Lucifer's
devil.
face because she even did the same
first
thing.
episode, I feel like.
Yeah,
it
she's like,
was.
you're the devil. And it was really cute,
was
and she
adorable.
still loves him. So,
But I think we've talked about this a little bit before. Like they say that youth
see
and
things.
elderly people, like because they're closer to the beginning and end of life, they are more sensitive to things supernatural. So I
Right.
think that her believing in the devil and seeing it, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So
I
totally
know,
get that.
and like I hope
more
she'll have that
shouting,
conversation.
more shouting, Ivan. You
was
don't need to
Lucifer's-
shout to
it
get
was-
our attention.
It was okay. It was to show Lucifer's guilt. I mean, I get that, but I don't. Okay.
Angels' bodies are their own
We
bodies.
can agree to disagree.
See, Liam says, calm down. Calm your shit.
We can
okay?
we can agree to disagree.
So he's saying like once you choose a body, then you're stuck with it. So you
I
can't
don't
come.
agree.
Yeah,
I don't agree because Mom was in a body. It got hit by a bus. It was
Good
a
point.
dude,
And
then
she
she came
switched.
back.
That is
hot.
true. She did. She did come
Yeah,
back
and
hot,
she
so.
switched bodies, didn't she? She was like trying to find one, and she kept getting killed,
Yeah.
like every
'Cause
time.
that was-
Yes, but the whole thing with the Ezreal's sword is the fact that
Gets
it
rid of the
kills the
soul.
soul as well.
right.
So, anyways, but going back to the conversation that Mom had with Amenadiel, she said, you know, you keep punishing yourself, and you've always been the one that took responsibility and took the blame and just whatever, and don't you think that you should be rewarded? So I thought that was also foreshadowing something too, and again, that's why I thought the reward was going to be his bright shiny wings.
Yeah, that's interesting, because she also said, like, yeah, you need to take a break. So she's kind of encouraging him to like calm down and just like get out of the situation, because I think Lucifer, no matter what, even if you try to push him away, he'll interject himself at any time if he's feeling the need to. Where I feel like Amenadiel, he's more calculated and he thinks about everything he does like meticulously. So I don't know, I like his character a lot, and the fact that he was just crying and just, you know, having this soul-searching moment with his mom, yeah, I think she's getting him when he's at his weakest, and she's really just kind of planting the seeds in his mind so he feels like he feels this way, that his mom didn't make him think this way. So, I don't know.
She's very manipulative. And it looks like we have someone else in the chat saying, and it's S.E. Brussels, and it's saying, I really like that everyone thinks they know what God wants, but he doesn't talk to anyone. So the angels are all just making up what they think he wants. And that is also an interesting point, because us as humans deal with it like, oh, God, are you talking to us? Do you hear me? Are you answering? And it's weird to see the angels having the same conflict.
Right, because you would think that they have open communication.
But it's like they don't even talk to him. So I guess this is contradicting something I've already said, but kind of like maybe God is not listening, or is God there at all? You know what I mean?
Is God really is great?
God there? Or is he great? No, but I mean, is he around still? Like, I mean, obviously,
I mean, he's around. I think he's definitely around.
That's the whole free will argument, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting that he's kind of letting everything happen on Earth, and now that we're seeing all these dynamics change, it's like I do think Chloe, especially though, still is subject to attack at this point.
Oh yeah, I don't think she's safe at all. No.
Yeah,
100%. Because I mean, God still made a plan with at least Uriel, so. One of them's got to go. Mom or Chloe's got to go.
It'll be interesting if Lucifer and Dan are there in that moment, because I'm curious to see who would save her. I feel like Lucifer would kind of do something big, but
he's got the extra powers and the zhuzh.
You know? That Dan, but Dan may be willing to sacrifice what Lucifer is not, and that's like his life.
I think
let's hope that he's not. We don't want that to
Lucifer
happen. But
would sacrifice his life for her. Absolutely.
You think? Wow, this is so serious with Lucifer and Chloe.
Yeah, I mean,
and he would blame it on the fact that, well, I haven't had sex with her yet. But really, it's something more than that.
Well, yeah, I guess because they are the male and female lead, that like, in my head, I'm like, that's why they probably would like, what? But
I know. I do feel like they have a love interest going on, and it'll be interesting to see in the future if they're actually going to develop on that, or just always leave it as this like unrequited. Yeah.
Okay, Ivan's trying to preach right now and says that angels don't inhabit vessels; it's their bodies. So then, what is Mom? Mom is not an angel; she is Mother Nature. I don't know, but I just got told we're getting kicked off in 2 minutes. So why don't we just get into news and gossip? We're just gonna end this.
Okay.
We're just gonna wrap it out. A picky. Okay, I have pictures. They'll get pulled up, I'm sure, eventually. I might have a video. See, you want to throw me the 2-minute sign, but you got my stuff prepared? What?
While we get those up, there was another funny thing I know, and I think I was the only one who noticed it. In Freddy's pastry shop, did you guys notice that like some of the pastries were white bread?
On them.
It was white bread slices with sprinkles on it, so it was like the most basic pastry in the world.
Wait, wasn't he like? Wait, where was he from? I want to say Brussels, but that's because we saw him in Brussels. It was something foreign, right? And I was like,
yeah, it was Dutch oven. It was Freddy's Dutch oven.
Okay, so then I was like, maybe that's, you know, like when you go to Europe and they have those waffles with the Nutella on it and it's got a special name. So maybe because it was Dutch, it's Dutch white bread with sprinkles on top.
This is the most basic pastry I've ever seen in my life. So interesting, but okay.
People are buying it.
Yeah, they are clearly.
And he serves greasy balls. Don't play.
Gosh,
I'm assuming that's donut holes.
I don't know either. Well, but you know what a Dutch oven is?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll explain it. Maybe being in a fraternity, I know what a Dutch. Okay, it's not weird. I mean, it's weird.
Well, you gotta tell us. You can't leave us hanging.
Dutch oven is like when you are you fart underneath a blanket and then you like let it cook and then you like lift it up in the fart. Yeah, so, I don't know. It's not locker room talk. That's dumb.
No,
it's
but
like
you obviously know about it because you've experienced an oven.
I have experienced a Dutch oven or two.
Oh, so. Good Lord Jesus. See, no.
I have a brother, so yeah, so I don't know.
It kind of comes with it.
Yeah, it comes with having a brother.
All right. Well, anyways, I think news is having issues pulling up news. So why don't we'll do our predictions and hopefully our news eventually pops up in there, and that'll be amazing. So why don't y'all tell me, does anybody have any predictions for next week given the
Your
preview?
AfterBuzz
Take it
TV
off. You've got
prediction.
some.
I know. I feel like I always give my predictions away early, so I'm sorry for that. I'm gonna be better about not doing that. But I still feel like we have not seen the last of Uriel. I know Ivan disagrees, but I
You're
do.
tuning into the destination.
Whoa!
Cool. I do believe. Yeah, we're gonna dance it out. I do believe that Uriel is gonna come back. I feel like. I feel like him seeing that is more than just his guilt. Like, I do think it was to show that, but I feel like that was great foreshadowing for Uriel's return, because I don't think he's dead. So that's my prediction.
I'm seeing something more from Dr. Linda. I think she's going to get more involved either with a Amenadiel if she can't talk to Lucifer anymore. But I hope in the next episode that she'll get over whatever it is that she's having, because I think that she's very important in his life and vice versa. I think they kind of help each other. And it'll be interesting to also see more with Trixie and Maze. Like, now that I've had them once, I'm like, just more and more and more, please. Who else? I want to see more with Chloe and Dan. I still like their weird relationship. Like, I don't know why I enjoy seeing it every week. And then adding Lucifer in the mix, too. So it's this, like, menage a trois. Like, I don't know. I dig it. So we'll see. I'm hoping for another great case like tonight's, too.
I think that Trixie will tell Mom eventually about Maze's
Face.
costume. You know? And I also feel like with the whole Dr. Linda thing, probably she'll be smart enough, because if she's also shutting Maze out, going, okay, so now we got to get rid of Amenadiel, we got to get rid of Maze, we got to get rid of Lucifer, and I don't even know about Chloe, what she is.
Right.
So I feel like she's going to try to seclude herself from everybody, but at the same time, it's in her nature to help people.
Right.
So I don't see why she would hold a grudge for that much longer.
Right.
That's my weird prediction. I think that News is having an issue pulling up all my photos, so we might have to do that next week. And if so, I'm so sorry. If you guys have any predictions, let's see.
Mom's a big bad and Lucifer. Oh, so it's from Telly Bondage. It says
These names.
Yeah, I love it. Mom is the big bad, and Lucifer will rediscover his father by the end of season 2, protecting God from his mom and brother. I agree with that. I think that the only person that God or Lucifer will be able to talk to in the end is God, and I do think that that's going to be a big thing. So I agree with you.
And what about this
Kelly?
army that I mentioned?
Chloe's slowly building.
If Charlotte was going to build an army, I'm like, that would be intense. I don't know. That would be crazy.
But I mean, she is slowly recruiting her children one by one to be on her side.
Yeah, she's going to need a bigger army, I think.
Danielle, hello. Hi, I'm sorry I haven't mentioned you yet, but hi, Danielle. Danielle says, it would be cool to see Azrael, and I, too, am curious to see which person they pick for the role, because everybody in the chat is giving their prediction as to who this person would be.
Ooh.
So, who knows?
I love that Hugh Laurie should be God, Lemons. I agree. Him or Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman should just be God always.
I mean, I liked Jim Carrey when he was God.
Yeah, Bruce Almighty.
Yeah, that would be
true.
amazing. All right, well, it looks like we're just going to have to sell for news next week. But in the meantime, I'm going to turn it to the front so you can see all our faces all at once, so we can thank you together, wish you a very happy Halloween if you're watching this on Halloween. And if not, whatever. But also make sure to find us individually. I am at Boys and Beauty. I'm also all over Instagram, boys_and_beauty_ Alikona. And then I have a podcast called Hollywood Shit. You check that out. Talk about a lot of shit. And make sure to follow these guys.
Awesome. Yep, you can find me on Twitter at Ryan with 2 N's Graham, and on Instagram at Instagram.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz, BENITZ. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, and until next time, behave yourself. No shouting in the chat room.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.